Good evening and welcome. This is Facebook Live question and answer session with the leader of Renfrewshire Council, Councillor Macmillan. This is live on the Facebook Paisley page, and we invite you to comment below, but make sure you please keep your comments for family viewing and on topic, please. So welcome, Councillor Macmillan, and thanks very much for coming along and inviting me to the council here, and we're in the atrium, so lovely and airy, and sunshine. Hopefully you can hear us fine because it's a wee tiny bit echoey. Good evening, Max McGuire. A lovely day and we're inside. Today, before I get started on some of the questions I have here for you, you met with other council leaders from across the districts in Glasgow. Could you tell us a wee bit about that, please?
Yeah, today was the cabinet meeting of the city deal, the Glasgow City Region deal, which people know as infrastructure project, rail link to the airport, other things that we'll possibly touch on later on. But one of the interesting things today was that the leaders of the other 7 councils agreed to back Paisley's bid for 2021. Yeah. And if people were awake last night, you might be seen on social media as well that we lit up the west of Scotland. The hydro was in Paisley 2021 colours, Hamilton Town Hall, Titan Crane, and also our buildings locally in Paisley and across Renfrewshire were lit up in the colours of 2021. And it's, as I said, it's demonstrating that we are lighting up the whole of the west of Scotland, which Paisley 2021 will do. The campaign, hopefully when Paisley's successful in its bid to 2021, will be important for Paisley, Renfrewshire, but also for the whole of the west of Scotland. It will be important for Glasgow as well as important for Greenock or Motherwell. Yeah, so bringing in tourism, also changing perception of the area and the ambition and aspiration. So today was a demonstration that, it's the usual kind of, it was a photo call, that kind of thing. But last night was something as we're building as iconic as the hydro, and everybody jealously guards their buildings and what you do with them, but it was a case of demonstrating that lighting up that building and using that iconic structure, and the other one being Titan Crane as well, being in Paisley 2021 colours. It's significant because it demonstrates the regional reach of the campaign.
I've seen some of the photos. If anybody's looking for some of the photos, they're on paisley2021.co.uk just now, and straight after this Q&A session we'll also post photographs and press release from the lighting up of the structures from last night, and they look absolutely amazing. You should have a look. Wow. There's lots more to come, I'm sure. So I'm going to just ask Mark just some questions I've got written down here. So basically, if you don't mind, I'll just fire away and just... there's a bit of activity to mark the town, especially the bid for the UK City of Culture for 2021. What's the latest update?
That was the latest update, and we've given you that. That's what I was thinking about. But listen, this idea of the regional nature of the bid is a big thing. Yeah. As I said before, it shows the reach of the campaign, that it's simply not just about Paisley, even though that would be enough in itself, but it's about Renfrewshire, it's about the whole region and that economic development. But in terms of this coming weekend, you have another 2021 weekend.
This is the Paisley 2021 weekend. It's
coming up. So there's, as well as at the moment, you've got Paisley Music Week, which has been going on since Monday with across Paisley, all the different pubs and other public venues hosting music, etc. This weekend there'll be different events where engagement events, asking people what they want, what they need, what they would like to see in terms of the 2021 campaign, what they think about the cultural offer, are they involved in culture, involved in music, all the different things. What we want to do is just capture people's ideas. You've also so these, if people can go to these or be involved, whether it's through Facebook or online, and respond to something like also the what's my story campaign that the council wants to do. That
Yeah.
we want to get everyone's ideas and project that into the campaign, because I've said this before, this is not just a council campaign. It won't work if it's just a council campaign. Paisley 2021, the regeneration project that we're embarked on, everyone needs to be involved, and we are trying everything that we can to get people involved, and it's just something like this, using social media. I know people are not shy about telling their views.
No, people are not shy.
But we need to,
especially when they're sat behind the
yeah,
keyboard.
exactly. But I can't stress enough that we want to know what they want to be part of this campaign.
Yeah, it's got to be community led, of course. The What's My Story, right behind us, you'll be able to see more about that. It's basically trying to get people who are, who used to work in the mills, get their story across, right up to modern day. We're leaving school, and what would you be doing in 2021? There's a lot of stories to come for the communities there. So I would urge people to go onto the website and have a look. There's only 3 questions you need to answer. 3 questions are quite straightforward, and you can become part of something much bigger, especially for the Paisley 2021 bid. So I would urge you to go into What's Our Story. For people who are just joining us, and I can see there's lots of people, Paul Cameron, Thomas Miller. This is a live question and answer session with the leader of the council, Councillor Macmillan, and we're just going through some questions which are already pre-sent in just now. We will be answering your questions that you're putting out very, very soon, so please keep adding them. So, Mark, I see there are big plans for regenerating the town centre in Paisley. What can people expect to see next?
Change is what they can expect to see. Change in the high street in Paisley. You can see change happening right now at the Russell Institute. That has been wrapped. As people will see with the Paisley 2021 colours, that's off now because the project is coming quite rapidly to an end with the refurbishment. The change you'll see there is that building is now populated again. Jobs have been provided, extra jobs through Skills Development Scotland. There'll be space for Paisley Development Trust or Community Parks Work, because the Paisley Development Trust, as you know, was involved at the beginning to save the Russell Institute. So that change that you see to the buildings, the Arnott's site, you see the front of it with the flats being occupied, the deal for the bottom of it to become a restaurant is taking shape, and then also on Gauze Street. There'll be more flats to be built on Gauze Street, and then plans for hopefully the next part of that site. So it's the change thing that you'll see. I hope that people will see. We've got the big plans for museum refurbishment and extension, and we're raising money for that. The council's put money in, but we have to raise other money for it. The High Street, going to relocate the library, the Lendon Library, onto the High Street, in the heart of the High Street, to help drive footfall, but also change the nature of what the High Street, how it looks and feels. Yeah,
because high streets are changing, and I suppose we have to adapt and think what is the use of a high street these days.
We do it. It's not completely taken away from retail, because there's always going to be retail there, and we need retail as high street. Paisley High Street is cared about. It's like 500 yards of a street that are hugely cared about. Disproportionately probably cared about. But it's important that we change that and change the way people feel about it. Change the way, literally how people see it, and so as they can use it again, they care about it. Most of the time when people are talking about it, they want to use it again, they think, well, there's no shops. So we're going to do something like that. There's other things that are happening with other MacLab, which is a technology-based social enterprise that allows people to design things using 3D printing, etc. and other innovative techniques. They'll be moving in close to the high street. So that whole process of change is what council should be about.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully the added impetus we have is through the campaign of the 2021 campaign that gives this, you mentioned, vibrancy, colour to it as well. But it is about regeneration. It's about using our Paisley's cultural past to regenerate the future. There will be also changes in the West End of Paisley. There's proposals for housing, Welsh Street, Meadow Street, which are in need of renovation.
Yeah, the West End, once you get to the West End, people or shop owners and stuff like that have a different view of Paisley High Street to when you get to Meadow Street. They have a down-looking view, but with some change coming out.
Because the regeneration project just isn't about the high street. You've not said that it's an important part of it. It's for the whole of Paisley, the whole of Renfrewshire, as is the 2021 bid. But again, it's going back to the aspirational change. I would love, from being born and brought up in Paisley, I would love to be able to change how people view Paisley from the outside. Also the way people that live in Paisley feel about it as well.
It's a completely different thing. When people move away from Paisley, they seem to have the rose-tinted glasses. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe they just actually look at what actually is here and what they miss. And when they go to a new place, they always go, Paisley's stunning, Abbey, Coast Memorial, and go on about all these culturally rich heritage, history-related buildings. But people stay in Paisley.
They don't
look at it.
Yeah, they maybe don't look at it, but they see it every day, and so you don't tend to pay attention to what you constantly see every day.
No, I get what you mean there. It's kind of the change in perceptions is a slow thing. It won't happen overnight. So,
but it's something. It can be a slow process, but actually the change part of it we need to demonstrate through this regeneration campaign that Paisley 2021 is part of, that the regeneration in Renfrewshire is part of in terms of the city deal and investments there. These things are happening in terms of the investment is coming. But until people actually see, stuff getting dug up,
real change,
buildings changing, buildings coming out of the ground or being renovated. That's what I need to do is to increase the pace.
It's like for instance, the Pride of Paisley. You get all these kids, families going from one spot of Paisley to another spot of Paisley to look at the new lines that are everywhere in Paisley. It's prideofpaisley.co.uk, which is done by the Paisley First. And families love it. It's something physical you can see, touch, scan with your phone, become part of Paisley. Once people start to see the real change happening in Paisley, they will change their perceptions, and families are loving it just now. And the council and our comms team have been fantastic behind promoting that whole.
No, the lines are great because they give something that you can literally touch and feel and see, and as you said, it's a family aspect to it.
It's just one small thing.
Yeah, I know, it's huge.
It's crazy how just one thing changes people's perceptions very quickly. I'm going to go into question 3. So the council says, I'm taking a wee bit of a change here from the Paisley 2021 stuff. So the council says it wants to open up opportunities through increasing digital provision across public spaces in Renfrewshire. Mark, why is that so important?
We're on Facebook just now, so without excellent digital provision, we can't use things like this. Businesses can't grow in the future because so much is online, we need to ensure, as a council, we need to ensure that the infrastructure, digital infrastructure, is there for people to make use of it. That's why just recently been made comment on the fact about BT OpenReach and not Paisley Town Centre and some other places in Paisley and outside in Renfrewshire. There's what's called exchange only, which means that the superfast broadband is not immediately available, and BT Openreach aren't able to tell us exactly when they're going to change that.
It's ridiculous.
And in their response to that press release that I put out, they were immediately defensive and questioned as to whether I knew what I was talking about. But their response omitted anything to do with this issue that's happening in Paisley, which means that the businesses in Paisley, 400 odd businesses, can't get superfast broadband. Yeah. So we need to change that. BT Openreach are going to change that. We want them to do it quicker. We'll try and help them to do it quicker. One of the things we announced, and there'll be more details coming out quite soon in terms of the processes the council's going down is public access Wi-Fi.
Yep.
At the moment, if people come into this building, you can go on, you can use public access Wi-Fi. If you go to UWS, you can use Wi-Fi, town hall, or whatever else, some shops, some
Is that Wi-Fi that's free to anybody?
What we need is for it to be seamless.
Yeah.
So if you're going from here, if you're going from a cafe, if you're going to the town hall, wherever you're going to a shop, you'll have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that in Renfrew, Johnson and Paisley town centre, and to give us coverage. We need BT to step up, BT Openreach to step up to give us the access to the super fast network in these areas. But you know, when people in their workplaces, if they've got access to Wi-Fi, or even people going to large shopping centres get Wi-Fi free access.
Yeah.
So we want to do that to have this kind of umbrella effect over the whole of the 3 major town centres, so as people can do that, and it helps attract people to come, you know, because Wi-Fi, people will go to a place where it's got Wi-Fi, they'll go to cafes with free Wi-Fi and all the rest of it. It's helpful for students, so the students will stay in the town centre, particularly for Paisley. They would be able to move out of the campus on a day-to-day, so they'll go to different cafes or shops.
Which they don't do enough of just now.
They stay on the campus, and we're kind of corralled by the Wi-Fi aspect, so Wi-Fi access. But what we want to do is have this seamless and free, as free from inputting your details, because it's me.
No, I
have to put
capturing data and who's there, and there's such like going to shopping centres as such, they ask you for your information. It's not like that. It's just I walk into the area, immediate access to Wi-Fi. It's fast. I can start using the service straight away.
And it's what people expect, and so we need to deliver it.
Good.
It will be helpful for public transport as well, because buses,
bus
companies have it. And in terms of different apps that you can use to find out when the bus is coming, all that kind of stuff. So help is, from a very kind of bureaucratic point of view, it's helpful for the council as well, in terms of if something goes wrong, then there's Wi-Fi available to ensure that the services still have access to the internet. So that'd be a good thing. It's new for this area. People recognise some of these things have already happened in Glasgow or other Manchester or other major cities, but that's the next step we want to take this place to.
In Glasgow, you can see when the next bus is coming on, the bus display and stuff like that. Paisley, for that to be happening would be absolutely amazing. Plus also giving them information about what's upcoming in the town, events and such as, and give them access to that.
It's part of this. I say this a lot. It's about changing the perception of the place, a bigger aspiration and a higher ambition. That's again, go back to the Paisley 2021. This is about us taking part in a different kind of league, where we're up against cities, and testing their mettle against Coventry or whatever, or somebody else, or Derry or somebody. It's taking Paisley to where it probably should be in the first place, but also then it's helping the economy of Renfrewshire.
Totally agree. Just to say again, you're now joining the live Facebook question and answer session with the leader of the council, Mark Macmillan. We will be taking your questions very shortly. Good evening, Jill Fraser, Kellyanne McCormick and Alan Lindsay. Good to see you on. If you've had your comments in there, we'll get back to them as soon as possible. I have already some questions that were sent in to me previously from people. So I'm just going to go through them just now. So we're on question 4, so you'll be glad to know that you're nearly there to answer your questions. And make sure you do put your comments in the box at the very bottom of the video. So, a great week for the parents, for the kids. It's going back to school. So everybody was looking dapper yesterday. The parents were loving it.
Yeah.
So Renfrewshire schools went back this week. You've made a lot of improving opportunities for young people. What progress has been made in that process?
Yeah, some significant progress, and you say as well the weather's changed for the better as well when the kids go back as usual.
Yep.
You would think we would do something about school holidays and move them to different times of the years, but maybe that wouldn't fit well with people. But in terms of progress, everything that I want to do, that I set out to do, is about changing stuff for the better.
Yep.
Everybody wants that to happen, whether it's the regeneration, the economy. But in terms of what we do with support and help for young people in education, early years education, and then into primary and secondary and beyond, helping people get into, whether it's further education or employment, is hugely important. So if I describe very, very quickly how all of these things and these other questions, they line up. From the city deal, the 8 local authorities, £1 billion worth of investment coming in infrastructure for rail link, the Glasgow Airport, the new bridge across the Clyde, the investment zone around Renfrew, and the other things that are happening across the region. That's about improving the economy.
Is that the bridge at Renfrew to Yoker?
To Yoker side. Yeah. That's about improving the economy. That's about allowing access for businesses to create jobs and sustained investment and more inward investment. Then we have kind of below that, in terms of scale, in terms of financial numbers, the Paisley 2021. That's also a regeneration project. It's also about the economy, improving the economy and through culture, but also perception change, aspiration, ambition, moving these things up a level in Paisley and Renfrewshire. We're doing that stuff, and it's all about young people, because it's about their chances. So one of the things we're doing in terms of early years is creating family first projects that are designed to help families that are struggling, to wrap around care and support around the family, centred on the child that's going into nursery, or even earlier working with health partners, providing the family, the mother, the father, carer, grannies, grandpas, whatever, do they need a job? Can we get them a job? Are they getting benefits that they're entitled to? All sorts of different support, help with fuel efficiency, all the rest of it. That's made a difference in the area that's happened in, because an area like Fergusley, where it was piloted first, it was also piloted in Linwood. It's now has moved into Gallaghill, Johnson Castle, and the Foxbar area in Paisley. It makes a difference immediately in people's pockets, but it also makes a difference to the schools, because the kids are going to be better prepared. So that family's first initiative, the benefits of that, they probably won't be seen by me as leader of the council, because it's a 10-year, 15-year project, because the kids go through. It's about giving the kids to begin with in early years this best chance while they're in schools. And then if you go to the age range, primary schools, so we're investing in primary schools, building new primary schools, refurbishing primary schools. St Paul's, a new St Paul's primary school getting built right now in Foxbar. Work getting done in Erskine and Johnston as well. But invest in the schools, invest in the teachers, allow the teacher
I've seen the picture of 124 new teachers.
Brand new, fresh out the box teachers going into with enthusiasm, going into the class. That's great. It's one of the largest initial cohorts going in. And we have done some work with our Tackling Poverty Commission, and then the Tackling Poverty project where we invest in teachers. We help teachers, we teach teachers. So with Strathclyde Uni and other partners in UWS were invested in giving teachers a chance to learn and then support the kids better. Giving teachers more time to then invest that time in the kids. That means we're going to narrow the attainment gap in different places. And it's this investment, constant investment in the children and in the family.
Yeah.
It costs the average family about £2,000 per year, per school year, just for the children and going to school and all the rest of it. And so we are helping people with cost of the school day allowance, I think, £288,000 investment to ensure that people who are maybe struggling, we still want our kids to go on school trips.
Yep.
We still want our kids to take part in, non-uniform days.
Yep.
There's always sometimes 50 pence and £1 here. That mounts up for people that are struggling. So the council's providing support to that, and that's again about helping the family to help the kid. And then when you go into the secondary schools, you mentioned the teachers going into the secondary schools. The results this year, the results in Renfrewshire are better again.
Right.
A significant part of that results are the young people that are getting between 1 and 3 hires. That's the biggest jump. And so that's young people that maybe struggled educationally, and before they might not get any qualification. Now there's more of them getting 1 to 3 hires. There's also an increase in people getting 5 hires, etc., etc. But those that are getting the 1 to 3 means that we're closing the attainment gap, giving everyone a better chance. And then when kids all about that young person's journey, so then they're leaving school. We had the instance in one of the schools 2 years ago, where there was the highest number of 6-year pupils there had ever been. Almost the same number of 6-year pupils as was in first year.
Wow.
And that was because those young people, they couldn't go to college because of the reduction in college places. And so they were posting potentially in 6th year because they weren't able to get jobs or they weren't going on to further education. So, not simply because of that, but targeting youth unemployment, long-term youth unemployment, is one of the big jobs that the council's done over the past 3.5 to 4 years, through investing in Renfrewshire, making sure that 18 to 24-year-olds have the best opportunity to get a job.
What is investing in Renfrewshire, just for people who don't know?
That's the council's employability arm, and that's the support, millions of pounds worth of support to private companies to allow them to create more jobs and more opportunities, new jobs, and not simply replacing jobs. That support, whether it's from the schools, whether it's also investing in Renfrewshire, has meant that youth unemployment in Renfrewshire has fallen further and faster than anywhere else in the United Kingdom. Right. Wow. We are at a record low in youth unemployment. Since records began in terms of collecting youth unemployment statistics, we're at that record low. As I said, it's further and faster than other places, and that's because we are deliberately focusing and targeting to make sure that young people get the chance of a job, of further education places. It doesn't just start at the top. It's all the way down to early years in terms of from 0 to 3.
Yep.
One of the most important age. The investment we're putting in just now, it's happened in the last couple of years. That will pay back tenfold or more in the next 10 to 15 years. I'm pretty sure, but we are still at the point where we've got this record low in youth unemployment. That will be we will continue to focus on that. And that's the one, if you ask me what the one thing I know that's not one of the questions you have, but one thing I'm most proud of is the fact that we have what we've done in youth unemployment. We're at the point where we could be getting rid of long-term youth unemployment in Renfrewshire. It's made it even more difficult because of different things in the global economy and all that. But
you're up against it.
There's very few places that will be seriously having this. We are seriously having a conversation about getting to the point where we don't have your fractional youth unemployment, but not long-term youth unemployment.
Thank you. Just to welcome new viewers again, and to say that we are having a live question and answer session with the leader of the Renfrewshire Council, Councillor Macmillan. I can see that there's absolutely hundreds of questions coming through. We are taking a note of them. Hello, Kathleen Burney. Kathleen Burney is one of the heads of the primary at Heriot. She does 1, 2 and 3, so it's good to see somebody on who's from an education background as well. Also, Ben McGuire, welcome to the question and answer section. Now, one of the questions that has been asked a few times recently, I'm going to put to Councillor Macmillan, is there's been some local concern around recent changes to the recycling and waste management facilities in the area. Why has the council taken this decision?
The decision was taken because the council has an ever-decreasing budget. What I've said before is about aspiration, ambition, change, regeneration. And so people will say, but you're doing all this on the one hand, but you're doing this changing services or reducing services in the other. We're doing all of this regeneration and change stuff, aspirational stuff, because we don't want to stand still. If I want to be in the position and be proud, personally proud of low levels of long-term youth unemployment or no long-term youth unemployment, we need to build an economy that's vibrant and sustainable. But the simple arithmetic is Renfrewshire Council's budget is reducing year on year and has done, and it's doing faster than a lot of other local authorities across Scotland. We get around, from memory, we get around 1,650 or so pounds per head for the population in Renfrewshire. But a council which is a roughly similar size and similar demographics as Dundee City Council, and they get £1,900 per head of the population. So there is an unfairness in how the local government settlement and how the local government is financed in general. The economy, there's less money going into the Scottish budget, there's less money going into the UK budget, and the changes that that have impacted across from UK government policy and Scottish government policy means there's less money coming in for day-to-day services that the council has to pay for. So just in the last question, when we went through, a young person's, lifetime till work, if we are focusing energy on these young people, on education, on employment, on early years, on childcare, etc., on families, then that means that money's not getting spent somewhere else. And I've, along with the administration, made the decision to allocate the budget slightly differently. And one of the things, as you mentioned, is the changes to civic community sites in Renfrew, Johnston and Erskine, and the reduced service in those sites. None of them have closed. No. Because that's something that people say, you've closed the civic community site. We have. It's not. I recognise the service has changed and the service has reduced. But that's where, that choice element of what are we going to invest in? Are we going to keep the civic community sites at the same level, or are we going to invest in education? We have invested in education. However, having said all of that, I do recognise as well that people have an issue with the changes, and it's always something. As leader, I always told myself, like, want to tell myself two things. I'm not here just simply to manage decline,
Yeah.
and I need to be, I need to listen to people and not just sit in an office somewhere in this building, supposedly making decisions for the benefit of the public and not paying attention and just doggedly carry on with something. So the people I've asked the people in the council to look at, excuse me, to look at how the changes are impacting, what's happening, where it's happening, and all the rest of it, and we'll review, if need be, we'll review how we do things. I'm not, people, you know, if this is really is an issue for people. Previously there was an issue years ago, and that was school buses. Previous administration cut the school bus provision, and they never changed, and that really affected people in a big way. So we will look at it, we will review it. I'm listening.
But you are, because I've you know, it's been brought up, and you did want to answer it straight away. So it's thanks for, you know, answering it clearly and decisively as well. I'm going to try and move on to some questions from people. So hello again to people who are just joining us. We are live with a question and answer session with the leader of Renfrewshire Council, Councillor Macmillan, and we can now go on to the point of answering some of your questions. Good evening, John Clark. Good evening, Roddy Boyd. Nice to see you on. So the first question I'm going to ask Mark is from Kellyanne. Now, will there be a hub in town where people can find out more about the bid?
Yes, and it will be in the town centre. It will be in a high street, and it will be opening soon. I hope.
Okay.
It will be opening soon. It's important we have that, because then that goes back to, that goes back to allowing people, making it easy for people to tell us how they want to be part of this bid, what they want to see in it, how they feel, giving us their story about their Paisley, their Renfrewshire. So there is going to be that hub. I hope that that's going to be specifically where it is in the high street will be announced quite soon. But
it's the old Burger King, isn't it? So it's bang centre, right at the Paisley Cross. There you go. You can't make it easier. So hopefully, Kellyanne, that's answered your question, and other people is asking the same. Sharon is asking, what is culture? What does the council perceive culture to be?
Jean Cameron, who's a bid director, if she's watching this, she'll be marking me out of 10 in answering this question. My answer to that is just how I feel about it personally. As culture is what you make of it. It can be anything, and that's, it's not just high-end culture or opera or ballet or whatever else. It's the stuff that's happening right now in Paisley Music Week.
Paisley Music Week, exactly.
Last night, in terms of last night there was a Bull Inn. There was Scottish traditional music. In the Bull Inn, there's all stuff every single night of the week. So it's maybe an easy get-out answer. It's what you make of it, but it absolutely is. But Paisley has culture, an abundance from years ago. From music is a big thing in Paisley and always has been. So, the other part of that question, I think, was how does the council perceive it? Again, I think the council sale will be allowing people to express what they want to express and providing that opportunity, because we know from a regeneration, from an investment point of view, culture is absolutely massive. It's in terms of the things that have happened across the UK, across the world, and the use of culture to transform and regenerate areas. It's a huge driver to allow areas to do that, and it also people enjoy it.
Exactly. I mean, we've had everything. Sharon, I don't know if he's not with us anymore. Look up a man called Danny Kyle. He will tell you what culture is in Paisley. And from Danny Kyle started Smash Shotty. and again that's a cultural activity, an annual cultural display in Paisley Town Centre, which was restarted by Danny Kyle. Look up for him, and then you come through to the Paisley Pipe Band Championships, Paisley Music Week, for instance. We've got everything from Danny Kyle to Paolo Nutini, and dare I say it, Gerard Butler as well. But we've got lots of culture, and Pace as well, who are internationally renowned, are based in Paisley. And if you're looking for culture, Paisley is the place to be. I'll take a next question, and Kelly Ann just says, brilliant, thanks very much, Mark.
Well,
so hopefully that's...
Jean Cameron saying the same thing.
I don't know if I can see Jean on, but so moving on to a question from Sandy. What will the council do to promote safe cycling to school?
What the councils do already, or the schools do already, in terms of teaching kids how to go bikes and road safety and all the rest of it, but like any major urban environment, road safety is an issue. It's important that we get more people onto bikes and also walking from a health and fitness point of view, and also from reducing congestion or making the place a greener environment. So that, I think we would tackle it from a road safety point of view in terms of traffic. But again, we need to get to the point where we're investing more in roads, and that's an issue for our council budget. People will revert back to potholes. There's always going to be potholes somewhere. That's an ongoing, really, really important part of the council function, that we sort out the roads. The investment that's coming along and through regeneration projects that I've mentioned in terms of through the city deal, all of them have more cycling routes, safe environments for cycling routes. I've spoken to quite a lot of people that are involved in the cycling community, and I recognise there's a lot to do to make it safer. Getting kids to either to walk to school or cycling to school is something that is high in our agenda, and hopefully we can progress on that in terms of what we're doing with the new schools and the environment that surrounds the new schools, making that a more safer and welcoming environment to for people to be getting to on bikes. We're right in the middle of the Olympics, so now's the perfect time to encourage young people to get on their bike and to be part of it. But yeah, absolutely, we need to do a lot to make sure that that's as safe as we can possibly make it, and about reducing traffic.
I know I'm not of school age, but I took up cycling about 5 weeks ago. I'm doing a challenge for Recovery Across Mental Health, which is RAMH, based down in Ferguson Park, and they're doing an Arran challenge, which is 42-mile cycle one day. But anyway, I've got on a bike for the first time since I was probably school age, and the cycle tracks are amazing. The roads are actually, I have no problem with the roads at all. I love it. I'm actually, at the moment, I'm addicted to cycling, and it's fantastic. But schools, walking to school and cycling to school, it's important for their health. Thanks very much, Mark. I'll go on to the next person. So, Ian is asking what can be done to empty properties in the town centre. Ian, that's an excellent question. Mark, what would you say yourself?
It's an ongoing issue in the town centre, not just Paisley, the biggest one, but it's an issue for other properties in the town centres across west of Scotland, because of retail decline, etc. What can we do? What are we doing? We're in touch with all the owners to say to them, how can we help you get tenants? How can we make it easier for businesses to move into these places? How can we ensure that they look right? And so if people see in Renfrew or Cossey Side Street in Paisley, where the front of the shops are being invested in by Investment Renfrewshire, and taking it, making them look better and allowing the shop owners to do that. That's where the city deal comes in, and the big thing, and then Paisley 2021, changing perception of Paisley, so as people want to invest in it. We're dealing sometimes with big companies that own quite a lot of different bits of Paisley. The council itself, sadly, doesn't own most of Paisley Town Centre, if any, apart from...
Which people think
we do.
The council do, but they don't.
People think the council owns all the empty properties and empty buildings everywhere. I don't know if sadly or thankfully the council does it. We don't, and that is the challenge. So we need to have the different levers that we've got, trying to grow the economy, try to make it easier for businesses to move into these places, invest in them as well, because the council has invested in the property that we're going to move the lending library to, and also bringing in other social enterprises. I mentioned Macmillan, and that's about taking on. It's expensive as well. You know, that's why these things are empty, because businesses can't afford, because large landlords are paying. They've got leases at a lot of the places for the next 15 years. They don't need to do anything, and they're still making money.
You're also forgetting the Paisley Trust too. You're also backing and helping bringing a theatre stroke cinema, not at a multiplex, by the way, I must admit. Say this, not a multiplex, see it's a theatre, cinema, multi-use space, and you're backing them a lot, and their ideas are absolutely amazing. I was at their AGM just the other week, and the ideas for the future are fantastic. So
on the empty properties, it's a big issue, and that part of we don't own all the buildings. We need to do something about it. Collectively, we all need to do something about it. Collectively, the trust or other partners in terms of UWS are taking on properties, but the only way we solve these empty retail properties is by creating a more vibrant economy, local economy, not dependent on some multiple or some chain to decide they're going to come back to Paisley. We actually need to build it ourselves to make it sustainable. Woolworths is not coming back.
No.
So we need to make sure that what we help to put in place in the future is going to be there and grow and be successful and maybe go to elsewhere. So, niche or whatever else, but using Paisley's special place in Scotland and the United Kingdom in terms of the Paisley Parton and all the rest of it. That's what
we've got a lot to shout about.
No, totally,
and a lot to be proud of, and the buildings surrounding us are amazing. I'm going to thank you for your time. I know as I was coming to the end of our question and answer session, and I would like to thank Councillor Macmillan for his time tonight and for answering all the questions honestly and decisively. Thanks very much for joining us yourself. The video itself will be left for people to comment on later, and we'll do our best to answer any questions. But for just now, thanks very much.
I would love to hear continue to hear from people if their questions don't get answered. Email me at the council, and we'll to keep in touch, because I want to listen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And goodbye.